All right, let's get right into it. Today we're breaking down a story that is absolutely chilling. It's about what our source material calls politics by bullet. Make sure you're subscribed because this is a heavy one. Let's go.
So our main source for this, an analysis by Michael Daly, kicks things off with this line, and man, it hits hard. An assassin's bullet rips through the fabric of America's story again. It just sets this incredibly somber, incredibly intense tone, you know?
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're in Utah.
Specifically, a university campus.
And what's happening? A political rally. The place is packed, the speaker's on stage.
And then it happens. One shot. And just like that, everything changes.
So let's get into the details of exactly what went down. A single, precise shot.
So the WHO, right-wing activist Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA. He was on stage at Utah Valley University doing a Q&A session. And right in the middle of it, he's hit. A single deadly shot right to the neck. And the article points out this really specific, chilling detail. It happened just as he was answering a question about transgender mass shooters. And of course, because this is our modern world, the whole thing was caught on video, and it just exploded online, went viral almost instantly. We're talking millions and millions of views. It became this piece of digital horror that basically burned itself into everyone's mind immediately.
And look, beyond all the politics and the media frenzy, you gotta remember the human side of this. The article notes that Kirk left behind a wife and 2 little kids. Just a brutal reminder of the real-world cost here. So, was this just some random act of violence? Well, the source material makes a really strong case that no, this was something else entirely. It was calculated, not crazed.
And this is a super important point that the author makes. He says, look, this wasn't like so many of the horrible mass shootings we see, where the goal is to cause as much random chaos and carnage as possible. No, this was different. This was a calculating killer. They had one target, one single precise target. It was a planned attack, an assassination. And when you look at the lead-up, it totally backs this up. The killer had plenty of time to plan. Kirk's event was announced a whole week before. That kicked off a bunch of online petitions trying to get him banned from campus. Then the university put out a statement about free speech. The point is, this was all happening out in the open. It gave the attacker a clear window to get ready.
So what happened next? Well, as you can probably guess, the political reaction was instant and it was intense. A sense of they are at war.
Over on Fox News, you had host Jesse Waters exclaiming, "They are at war with us." And the article points out something interesting. He never really specifies who they is. The analysis suggests it kind of lumps the lone killer in with, well, everyone on the other side of the political aisle.
And this division, it showed up everywhere, even in Congress. They have a moment of silence for Kirk, right? A moment of unity? Not quite. Republican Lauren Boebert insisted on a prayer spoken out loud, stating, quote, "I believe silent prayers get silent results."
And just like that, an argument breaks out right there on the House floor. The source says some Democrats were pointing out that Republicans hadn't said a word about another school shooting in Colorado that same day, where 3 students were badly hurt. So you can just feel the tension.
All of this leads to a much bigger and honestly scarier question. Is this a one-off thing, or is this the start of something new? A new era of violence?
Now, the source is careful to put this in perspective, okay? We're not talking about something on the scale of the assassinations of JFK or Martin Luther King Jr. But, and this is a big but, it's still framed as an unquestionably defining moment in our modern history. Absolutely.
And this all builds to the article's final, brutal punchline, aimed right at the younger generation who are seeing all this play out online. The author just says, "Welcome to politics by bullet, Gen Z." Wow. I mean, what a bleak way to look at where we are right now. And really, it all boils down to this one huge question that the article leaves us with. What is going on in America?
And that's the question we're leaving you with. We really want to know what you think. What is going on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Seriously, we want to hear your take. If you got something out of this explainer, do us a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.